There are things in this world that people love to hate, and things that people hate to love. This is a natural phenomenon, just another symptom of being a human. I too have been a hater, and have been dabbed upon thusly. At some point in my life, perhaps it was when my frontal lobe finally finished developing and I stopped being an idiot, I decided to begin to form my own opinions through the lens of experience. To dive into things that made me cringe. To try and find out what it is that makes people love that which I despised. I haven't always been successful at this. Nay, I watched 3 out of 4 Twilight movies and had to take one of those detox supplements and void my insides so I could feel like a person again. But within my many judgments, there have been some golden nuggets of art that I found I was missing out on. TV, movies, and games that could have improved my existence that I disliked simply because I was being a douche nozzle. One such piece of media took me until my early 20s to finally get around to viewing. You see, sometimes things are just bad, but other times the fandom is 100% to blame for the negative outlook on a franchise. As a child in the halls of my high school, I would hear them.
Konnichiwa. Arigato. Baka.
The weeaboos. I would hide in the bathroom stall, clutching my backpack as they shouted, Rasengan! I would be late to class for fear of getting run over by someone in a headband charging down the hall with their arms stretched out behind them. Hell, I couldn't go into Hot Topic without getting a nosebleed for a good 3 years.
Ah, so cute!
So cute! But one day, I got curious. What is this thing that made all of these people come together and act like weirdos in public? What is the story that has so many people engrossed to the point that they would change their outer appearance and entire lifestyle to emulate it? Is it perhaps good? And more importantly, do I have something to say about it that no one has said before? You better believe it, you know! Hailed as one of the longest-running and most critically acclaimed shonen manga and anime series of all time, with a cast of characters longer than Liam Neeson's third leg, it's taken some digging, but now it's time. It is Naruto! Naruto Uzumaki, believe it! So join me for a story of loneliness and isolation. A narrative of struggle, personal differences, loss, and achievement. Grab your ninja headband, grab your kunai, and a big ol' bowl of Ichiraku miso ramen with extra chasu. And prepare yourself for an epic about a young boy lost and alone and his rise to the top. This is Naruto Uzumaki's story. The story you never knew. Data bio. This is Naruto as we see him in episode 1. Nobody likes him at all. He's pretty dumb and more cringy than Mommy Makeout Day. Think of the kid who ate his own boogers every day in bio class. That's Naruto. The kid basically does nothing but cause trouble. Initially, that's all we know, and to the show's detriment, the first couple of episodes are pretty hard to get through going in blind. However, it's supposed to be like this. The show introduces you to Naruto in a way which makes you sympathize with everyone who hates him, then yanks your heartstrings. You see, Naruto is an orphan. His mother and father were killed when he was a baby, and he has grown up entirely alone. Instead of being given to another family, Naruto was a shinobi, ward of the state. He was cared for and raised by the government of the Hidden Leaf, never having any family to really call his own. To make matters worse, the other children's parents won't even let their kids play with him. Naruto spends all of his time by himself, not knowing what he did to deserve this treatment. We later find out that Naruto is a Jinchuriki, essentially a human weapon. Being a Jinchuriki means sharing a body with a tailed beast of immense power, and Naruto houses a particularly mean and powerful one known as the Ninetales, or Kurama. This monster nearly destroyed Naruto's home, the Hidden Leaf Village, on the day he was born. Kurama was sealed inside Naruto to protect the leaf, but this caused the adults to hate and fear him. This little detail wasn't shared with Naruto, so he grew up in the dark, wondering every day why nobody would play with him. This kind of social isolation is detrimental to anyone's psyche. Humans are pack animals. We need to have bonds in order to live full, healthy lives. Due to their ignorance and fear, the adults of the Hidden Leaf forced Naruto to live out many of his formative years in isolation. Now, loneliness is no joke. I'm sure you've felt it before. The crushing feelings of boredom and anxiety, the need to be with other people, if only just to talk. But extreme isolation can wreak havoc on the mentality of a human being, driving completely normal people insane. There are accounts of prisoners and people who volunteered for experiments in isolation. These experiences have caused noticeable trauma within 24 to 48 hours of complete isolation, ranging from panic attacks to aural and visual hallucinations. Exactly why this happens is unknown, but there are people who have combated their loss of sanity for periods of up to 10 years or more by coming up with a goal. According to Michael Bond, a reporter for BBC, a man who was imprisoned in solitary confinement for 10 years for refusing to develop nuclear weapons for Saddam Hussein, kept himself sane by doing math problems all day, every day. This kind of mental dedication is also what saved Naruto Uzumaki. Instead of losing himself, Naruto dedicated himself to a singular goal, becoming the Hokage, or leader of the Hidden Leaf. Believe it, the rest of the series follows him on that journey, but that's the story you know. So what about this story you didn't know? Well, what if I told you Naruto isn't so much of a character as an idea? Besides the incredible cultural aspects, the excellent animation and action, and deeply interesting world design, part of what makes the series so great is the character development that goes on within it. There are multiple themes that take place recurrently throughout, but the cast was developed in a way to make you attach yourself to the show, centered around the concept of Naruto. You see, life is complicated, but it is only that way because we too are complicated. Human beings still haven't found the reason for existence. Sure, I mean, there's lots of theories out there, but why we're here and what we're supposed to do is a mystery. A human life is short, and we start to shrivel away shortly after we're halfway through. But many people don't even make it that far. From the day we come into this world, we're told stories of people who achieved great things. People who changed the world, and I think for a lot of us it makes us want to do the same. Even if you don't want to change the world, you probably still have a dream, and wouldn't it be amazing if you could achieve it? Part of what makes Naruto so relatable is the struggle he goes through emotionally. The only thing narratively better than a hero is an underdog hero. Someone who comes from nothing, someone like you and me, who rises to the top and achieves their goals. It makes us feel good to see someone succeed when we think they deserve it, and because of that, the writers gave Naruto a pure heart, much like Goku or Luffy. It's the rest of the cast, though, that completes the puzzle. Unlike most stories, Naruto has upwards of 20 characters you could consider main characters. Each of them speak directly to different aspects of our personalities. And like you and I, they gravitate towards Naruto eventually because of what he represents. Sakura shows what it's like for those of us who always feel like we're left behind, and what it's like to realize how needed you are despite how you view yourself. Sasuke speaks to the anger inside of us about the injustices in the world, the things we can't or couldn't stop. He teaches us that sometimes we can't control everything and simply need help from time to time. Shikamaru is gifted, but lazy and directionless. But it's more of a fear of trying than simply not wanting to. This fear has held us all back before, I guarantee it. We could easily make a story you never knew on any of these characters, not only because they're deep, but because they're individuals with full character arcs, just as long and as in-depth as Naruto's. Even Choji's arc goes so far as to speak to those with body image issues, and shows that a beautiful personality has no bearing on appearance. Teacher-student relationships, father-son and father-daughter relationships. It's all here alongside the gory ninja battles and kaiju fights. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of anime tropes in Naruto. There's a lot of filler episodes and ramen memes, but there's simply nothing here to hate. I understand now why so many kids became engrossed with the series during the mid-2000s. It's hard being a kid and everyone is different. There's so much to get attached to and so many characters to live vicariously through in this anime. Not only did those kids find a piece of entertainment which spoke to them personally, but they also took the extra step to go out into the world and find other people that shared their interests. They took the step to make bonds so that they wouldn't be alone anymore either. However, they still shouldn't be allowed on the internet. Anyway, liking Naruto doesn't make you a weeaboo. Disrespecting Japanese culture by emulating it in an exaggerated or insulting way makes you a weeaboo. Telling people you're Japanese and speaking the language wrong makes you a weeaboo.
Recently, I've been reading lots of manga and anime, And like, I feel it in my veins. I think I'm Japanese.
Check it out.
I'm Japanese.
Liking Naruto makes you human, because Naruto is human, because Naruto is based on you. If you take a second to think about it, we've all had similar experiences. There have been times we simply didn't belong, no matter how hard we wanted to or how hard we tried. There were times we thought we had no friends, nobody to talk to, or that no one could relate to us. We've all lost people in our lives that were special. Teachers, friends, parents, pets. Maybe that's happening to you right now. But that's life. It's a series of ups and downs. There's no steady incline towards the top. Nobody can ever achieve perfect happiness, and that's a good thing. Without the valleys, there wouldn't be any peaks to excite you as you look out over the horizon. Naruto teaches us that it's okay to be flawed. It's okay to be a loser. Because as long as you never give up, you can at least find someone who can stand beside you on top of those peaks. As long as you stay true to yourself, yo. Stay true to yourself and never stop pushing to be better, more well-rounded, more skilled, more kind. Because happiness is a byproduct of a meaningful life, not a goal in and of itself. You can try to be happy, but you'll find it doesn't work. So if you look at Naruto, his loneliness and his eventual triumphs, you'll see that his best moments that made his misery worth it were all a payoff from training, fighting, loneliness, and the misery they put him through. His happiness spilled out of the moment. He wasn't chasing it. He chose to stay true to his ninja way instead of trying to be someone he wasn't, and doing what he said he was going to do. By doing this, he was not only accepted, but admired and respected. We all want deep down to be ourselves and let that nature shine. When we see someone who has gained that ability, we naturally gravitate towards them, like Naruto's peers and us too in the audience. However, keep in mind that for you to be yourself means others too are allowed the same right, even if they make you cringe or they offend you. Because honestly, you probably offend lots of people just being you. But just because I suck, and you suck, and other people suck, doesn't mean you can't understand each other. It just means you have common ground. Mutual understanding can happen, because there is growth to be achieved from different perspectives. There is always room for dialogue and constructive criticism that can ultimately take you in directions you never would have seen, and into the best version of yourself.
Even I'm able to see that there's entirely too much hate in this shinobi world of ours. I've always wanted to do something about all of this hatred. I'm just not quite sure how to go about it as of yet. But I truly believe that eventually the day will come when all people will understand one another and live in harmony.
Safe to say the other characters rubbed off on Naruto on his way to becoming a badass, even though his journey was his own. That being said, just because you're listening and understanding doesn't make the other person right, or make you obligated to change. But it is a sign of respect we all deserve for living on this shitty planet. Maybe, just maybe that's why I hated Naruto so much way back then. Maybe it was because I was unhappy and saw a group of people enjoying themselves and truly not caring about everyone breaking their necks from cringing so hard. I just didn't understand where they were coming from. So before you yourself get dabbithed upon, maybe take a look at what you're hating on.
Konnichiwa, senpai. Please notice me. I watch Asian cartoons. I'm a weeaboo. I live in my mom's house. I'm like 32. I collect swords and throwing stars. Yes, I'm a weeaboo. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but I will always be one step ahead of you. 'Cause I read the manga. I haven't showered in like 16 weeks, and all my friends and peers are ashamed of me. 'Cause all of a sudden, I think I'm Japanese. Yes, I'm a weeaboo. 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 A dirty weeaboo. A fucking weeaboo. A disgusting weeaboo.
And that's the story. You never knew. And that's my take on Naruto. This was our first time covering the series, so let me know down below if you want us to cover it again, in more depth. This one didn't go into the story much, but there's already so many great videos doing just that. That being said, if there's enough love for Naruto or any of the characters, we won't hesitate to cover it. I'm Grant, and I hope you liked the video. If you want to see more Treesicle anime content, then why not watch The Real Truth of All Might from My Hero Academia? Ryan does a great job in that one. It gets heavy, man. Last but not least, subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified as soon as we post a video. I'm biased, but I'd recommend it. That's all I got for today. Bye, everyone!